Welcome to Politics for Thinkers.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jennifer Barreto Leiva. As many of you know, I am in Venezuela, and this show has been recorded 24 hours after the two earthquakes. Um, the second earthquake was the hardest one, 7.5. And um, this is a miracle that I am here. As my father teach me, you have to be professional no matter what. And this is the reason why this show is being broadcasted. And I have a responsibility with all of you. And part of my values is the integrity. So uh, this has been one of the hardest situations that I had to experience in my life. And what you see in social media is not even half of what we're going through. This is one of the reasons that people need to understand that socialism and communism are the worst ideologies that you can believe in. The main reason why my country is devastated and there is not one penny to help the people that is dead, the people that is trapped behind those buildings is because the regime has still every single dollar that we used to have as a country. Being said this, it's time to begin the show. Um, I was noticing that conservative women uh, are being silenced and not taken in account for any situation, any speech, any event, and for some reason we are not on books, we are not behind uh, facts of history. So I was speaking about this with one of my best friends who happens to be a lawyer, and we have noticed a pattern, and that's the reason why we speak about to do the show today. I'm going to now introduce you my guest of today. Ada Norah Henriquez is a UPR graduate. She has a bachelor degree in psychology and a Juris Doctor. She is a speaker, social impact volunteer, Republican. She supports the statehood for Puerto Rico. She is the executive producer and host of the show Puerto Rico Se Puede, which means Puerto Rico, you can do it. Uh, let's give her the most kind welcome.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be with all of you. But I would like to start by saying that I'm very proud of you as a conservative woman. You're stepping in the front lines because that is what us conservative women do. So we like to move forward and embrace hope rather than being victimized and, just realize that it's a difficult time, but we have work to do. So let's move on.
Absolutely. Well, the first question I would like to ask you, and before we begin our conversation, I would like to apologize with my audience. I'm doing the best I can in this horrible situation. My country is broken. Is already was already broken before the earthquakes, but now can you imagine the devastation we had? And I'm lucky to have internet. That's all I'm going to say. There right now there is a dramatic situation all over the nation. So please forgive any mistake. I know you will be kind enough to understand. The first question I would like to ask you, Nora, is do have you faced any type of discrimination as a conservative woman? And I would like to ask you as well, do you think that the identity politics has been overused with women when it comes to politics?
Man, those are two heavy questions, I would say. Well, definitely, identity politics have been misused or used too often with women, and the victimization and everything that comes with it, especially when women wants to um, establish that they have the reason just because, not with facts, not with research or any kind of information that would support their position. That's very bad, especially for conservative women, because we like to acknowledge what is happening and to work with what we have realistically. And especially given the fact that we would make an inventory of the resources that we have at hand, and we like to move working with teams. So for us, men would not be excluded, rather they would be included. So we are able to reach goals that are important for the community, for family, and for individuals as well.
Do you think that, in the mainstream media, what you see the most is liberal women, their books, their speeches, the quotes about them, and every time they speak to an audience, um, you see them like, with major presence in not only social media but in the mainstream media. Do you think that this situation will persist over time now that conservative women are being in very high and respected position? How do you think we can change this situation for conservative women in politics?
Well, let's see. When we are talking about conservative women, we have to realize that a conservative woman is just a woman that embraces her natural gifts and decides to live according to it. I would say that that's the best definition that I can give at this time in history, because actually, liberal women, what they want to do is to deny the fact that we are individuals, the women that can carry life, that we love motherhood, that we like to care for other people, and we don't necessarily need to be in the front lines in order to feel accomplished. If we have to, we will. If we like or we have the talent, we would move forward for it. But it doesn't matter for us. It's not a negative thing. The fact that we have the capacity to give birth to people. So liberals are doing the opposite, liberal women. So the mainstream are nourished from that position that denies who we are. So I believe that because it sells at this point in history, we would have to face that. Although, like you said, women are being respected, we have to acknowledge the fact that conservative women are now in politics, and they are in positions that are of interest. For example, in Costa Rica, in Italia, and I believe in Peru, just recently, we are having women that are conservative. So how were they able to get to that position to be the person with most power in the country? That is because there is a space for us to move ahead. But like I said, women like to work and help people accomplish goals. So not necessarily are we're gonna be in the front lines all the time, but when there's the need, we are gonna step ahead from others, just to make sure that everything is working.
Something that I've noticed, and we speak about this before, about the way this identity politics has been used on women in Puerto Rico. They are promoting this progressive agenda. We have seen many, many women that, after the years, they regret to promote this kind of politics, like abortion, like feminism, and these politics against the family. um, this politics has been used to use women for those purposes. Do you think there's gonna be a moment where they understand that hurting each other and hurting other women through these politics will ever stop. It's possible uh to take back time in some way and make women understand and let them think about that, to not let politicians use them for evil purposes.
Well, I would say that the only one that can redeem time is God. So we have to go back into the scriptures and mention the fact that according to our natural design, women are born and they have the talent to raise all the women, to love their own self and to embrace all the talents and the gift that they have. What has been happening is that the older women has leave that space open. So the younger generation does not have that guidance and that upbringing that help them embrace and value themselves from what they are. So unless we conservative women take the lead again for that education, we would not be able to do. I'm going to give you an example. As I was getting ready to have this interview with you, I remember this person. Her name is Mina Lopez Peña. Mina Lopez Peña, she was a lawyer back in 2000, around 2006. I got to know her because I was just listening to the radio, and all of a sudden they was having these hearings before the legislature in Puerto Rico, and I hear this woman, and she was talking about the risk of approving the civil code that was being considered at the time. She was a conservative woman who raised the voice and raised she sounded the trumpet and say, hey, beware. The family as we know, the marriage as we know, the relationships between parents and their children are at stake. So we have to do something. She also mentioned all this ideology, gender ideology. She was the first to sound the alarm in Puerto Rico. At this time, she already passed back in February of 2018, and she is the reason why I become active also in politics. She was the founder of el Consejo de la, Dios mío, I forgot the name at this moment, but it was an institution that would have different organizations get together in order to promote our values as we are in Puerto Rico. And after I was able to also lead that organization for a while. So I would say she was an elder woman. She was a conservative woman. But like I said, at the time that it was needed for somebody to sound the alarm and organize people in order to protect our values, she was there. She was the main leader. She was the one, to make us realize if we don't do something, all of this progressive agenda, wokeness, identity politics is going to pass us by. That was in 2006. So it's been 20 years already. And she was the one who helped us in Puerto Rico to put a stop to that, I would say, that wave that was about to cover us and nobody knew about. So there you have it. We have conservative women in Puerto Rico doing real big stuff.
Wow. I wish more women hear her at time. She was a visionary, because look at the situation we have right now, the panorama we have right now. Um, I wish we have more women like her, strong, brave, and wise, to warn us about these kind of future situations. Uh, how do you think is going to be the role of conservative women in the future, now that we had all these politics, progressive politics that affect mostly women?
Well, first of all, let me get back. The organization was La Coalición Ciudadana en Defensa de la Familia. That's the name of the organization. Mina Lopez also wrote two books, are available in Amazon. One is God and Us, Our Minority, and the other one has to do with gender politics and how to go about it. Um, at this point, we need to acknowledge the difficult time that we're living, and you know move forward and take the lead. Maybe women that are listening to us would say, but how can I do that? I don't like politics. Start with your own family. Start in your community. Start, in schools where your children are attending at. In your there's so many things that we can do in order to help, women, children, even men embrace who they are, affirm their identity, help us to develop healthy relations with one another, be able to, again, listen to the people that think differently from us without being disrespectful and without that meaning that we have to be enemies. Like I said, back in the days, we would have our grandparents, especially our grandmas, because that's what women do. Our grandmas, making coffee for somebody in the community because she would notice that this person was either sad or was very angry or was without hope. So they will make a space for that person to be able to acknowledge his or her feelings and get counsel or get help. And, depending on the situation, maybe they would, have somebody else step into to help them or to accompany them. And we need to do that again. It's a pity that in Puerto Rico we have so many elders which wisdom are not taken into consideration, and we need that back. That definitely does not cost a lot of money, but it would bring a lot of enrichment. And we need to do that, to take that back. I'm also want to mention someone that even at her time, she was considered a progressive, I would say. But at this time, if we were to look into it, she would be considered a conservative. That's Doña Fela Rodriguez de Tio. She was a mayor for the municipality of San Juan for more than 20 years. And she was the eldest daughter of a family of 9 children. When she was 11 years old, her mother passed away. So she was the one who helped his father raise her siblings. What happened was that after she did that, she went to school. She also went to New York to study fashion and to study business. Bear with me for a few seconds more. And then when she came back, she got into politics. She had her own fashion store, but she also decided to go into politics. And she was the first to establish maternal schools. That was the first, I would say, daycare center so that women would be able to work and to have their children cared for. That was back in 1949, and that's where the federal government had the idea of establishing Head Starts. So, like I would say, she was looking for rights for mothers and for women, but she was not denying motherhood. Rather, she was helping women embrace motherhood. So, like I said in the beginning, the feminist movement was not about denying who we are, but actually affirming and opening opportunities so that women would be able to move forward and to grow with the history, develop according to the history at the time. So we, like she did at that time, we have to do in our time with whatever we have, we're able to build. So let's see what we do in the next years coming up.
Can't thank you enough for this background that you share with us. No wonder she was remembered as one of the best dressed politicians in the continent, and also she was the not only the first woman that was a mayor in the continent, but also because of her and other brave women, we can vote as women in Puerto Rico. So it's a legacy that no one can erase. And as you said, feminism was a totally different thing as it is right now. And I can thank you enough for these beautiful words you said to other women that maybe feel lost, maybe don't know exactly what to do because there is a severe lack of leadership when we're talking about women especially in politics. So those were very beautiful and wise words that I can thank you enough for sharing. Thank you so much, sister, for being with me in front and behind the camera. Nora has been praying for me and my family and has been being with me. We're not even close, but by heart and our souls are really, really close. And that's why we call each other sister. Um, thank you. I wanted to say this publicly because for me it's very important now that I went through this horrible experience. Thank you for being with me um, in front of the camera and behind the camera. And thank you especially for being in this show that it was so hard to pull out together. This is the second time we tried to tape the show, and luckily this time we made it. But again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your efforts and your love and prayers.
Yes, of course you can with me. We went through Maria, and I know the difficult time that you're facing right now. It's going to take months, but our prayers are going to be there. Our help is going to be there. And one day at a time, sister. That's all what that we can leave, and that's all that God asks us to do. So, come with us.
Amen. I know. Thank you for being with us this show. Remember to follow us in social media. We are in every single platform, social media, as Politics for Thinkers. Also, remember to visit our website, politicsforthinkers.com, where you can find not only what you need to know about me, what you need to know about the show, how to reach me, the email I have for all of you to reach me for anything you need to communicate. Also, remember there is our weekly editorial you can read or watch. It depends on what you like or enjoy the most. And whatever suggestion, comment, whatever you need to let me know, please feel free to reach me not only through social media, but the email I specially create for this particular situation. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully we see each other in 7 days. God bless us. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching